everyone, welcome back to Flames of War. This is going to be another Euro tripling campaign. So this is the penultimate one. So basically this is Operation Luttich. So it's a German counterattack after Operation Cobra has been launched. So finally they've been able to pull together enough resources into an area that hasn't got overrun by the Americans. So the Americans will be on the defensive for this one. So this campaign has been put together by Tom and Lucas, and Tom has been playing as the Germans of Waffen SS, while Lucas has been playing as the Americans. So we'll have a look at the mission, and then we'll go to the forces, and then we'll go over to deployment. Okay, so here we have the Bridgehead mission representing this battle. It was always in the mission pack, but if you don't know, there's a new mission pack now with quite a few new missions on the Flames of War website, so I suggest you go and look at that. Some of them have been updated, but this one's a good one. It's going to be a bit tricky for the Americans because it is deep scattered reserves, but they are immediate and they do have ambush. Yes, it's a good one, so it'll be interesting to see how they all deploy. Okay, so this is Tom's list. So he has a Panzer company, and his love-hate relationship with Panthers will continue on into this mission. He loves them, but they just keep hurting him. It's an abusive relationship, is what we called it. And with them, we have a SS Panzer Grenadier Company of the 2nd Das Reich. And we also have Nebs and an OP, so we'll have a look at the models. He also has own goal to kind of scupper the reserves for the Americans, and Tom always likes a Panzer Pioneer platoon. So these are great guys. They're really good to go across minefields, and they dig in a lot easier as well. So, but Tom always loves them, and he introduced me to them. Okay, so here we have the Panzer IV Company, so SS Panzer IV Company, shall we say. So we have 2 HQ Panzer IVs, a platoon of 5, and 3 Panthers. And there is one more unit in this formation. Okay, still with the Panzer IV Company, we have 2 AA half tracks. Now the secret Tom has told me with these is these guys are going to hide at the back of the table, and they're going to be the anchor that keeps the formation from breaking, considering that there's no aircraft for Lucas, so that is all they'll be contributing to this game. We might all forget about them, but they are on the table somewhere, just hiding. Okay, so this is the infantry element of the armoured SS Panzer Grenadier Company. So we have the HQ, who's mounted up, and I believe he does not have Panzerfausts. And then we have the armoured platoon. These are Panzerfausts, and they also have 4 half tracks with them as well. And then we have the Panzer Grenadier platoon. Now they have Panzerfaust and a Panzerschreck team as well, and these are going to be the Panzer Pioneers. Still in the formation, we have 2 heavy machine gun teams with a half track. They are then 4 8cm mortars, half tracks, 2 grills. Love the grills, man of the match for me last time I used them. And we also have 4 flamethrower half tracks as well. Okay, then we have support. We have 3 Nebelwerfers, and we have an OP going with them as well. And I keep being outstanded by the size of the template that these guys put down. But they could be a bit tricky for this mission, because they might become a problem for danger close for Tom and his SS as he closes in on the American lines. Tom's command cards, as I mentioned, Panzer Pioneer Platoon own goal. So if you haven't used this before, basically it forces your opponent to reroll their reserve rolls. The problem is they have to reroll all their dice, so if they rolled 3 and only got 1 reserve in and you made them re-roll it, they could have all 3 in, so it's your choice. And we have Adolf then for the infantry, and that's why I call them the 2nd SS, because he is from the 2nd SS Division, Das Reich. And that is it. That is Tom's 120 point list, so we will now look at what Lucas is going to be defending with. So we have Lucas's list here. So we have 2 formations, an M4 Sherman company and a rifle company. So all not veterans. These are more fresher troops. compared to like the 1st Infantry Division, who have been fighting for quite a while now and have built up some sort of skill to avoid bullets. But these guys, the infantry and tanks, are very eager to get back into the fight if they do get knocked down. So we'll have a little breakdown of the units. Okay, so this is the Sherman company. We have 2 HQ Shermans, 75mm, and then we have a unit of 5 76mm Shermans, a unit of 4 75mm Shermans, and a unit of 4 Stuarts. So quite a meaty company due to deep reserves. Pretty much this entire company will be in reserve for this game. Now we're on to the rifle company. So this is the infantry. So a massive team photo before the game. So we have a HQ of 2 SMG teams, and then we have 2 full platoons. So that is, let's get my notes, 10 M1 Garand rifle teams. Each of the 1st and 2nd platoon have 2 bazookas and 2 LMGs. And then 3rd platoon are just making do with 2 extra bazookas, so no LMGs for them. And that is the infantry element, but there's still more for this formation. So still in the formation, we have 4 heavy machine guns. Now these are the M1917 HMGs, and then we also have a unit of 3 60mm mortars with them as well. And that is the rifle company. So we're on to the support. Okay, so in support we have 4 M10s, 3 priests, and a Greyhound scout unit. So that's just 1 Greyhound, a MG Jeep, and a little mortar Jeep as well. Okay, so Lucas's command cards, he has taken Cullen hedge cutters twice, and these will be applied to the 75mm Sherman platoon and the 76mm Sherman platoon. So that will help their terrain cross checks over bocage and hedges, of which there will be quite a few this game because we're still in Normandy in the bocage. And he also has desert veterans. So this is applied to the M10 unit. So just their skill and assault rating become better for +1 point for the unit. So not too bad. So that means they should be able to do their skill checks, ducking in and out of cover a bit better. Okay, so here's today's table. So lots of bocage, windy roads, narrow roads because of the bocage, very few buildings, quite a few tree lines as well in the fields, and then lots of fields as well. So lots of cover, not many lines of sight, but with the rules we play, you will be able to see stuff if you're on top of the hill or in the tower of the church, or you top floors of buildings, you'll be able to see over the bocage. That's just the rules we're playing with this one, just so it's almost like true line of sight basically. And that is it. So we'll have a little look at what the Oracle of Battle has to say. Okay, so the Oracle of Battle has the Americans to win this game today. I think it was basically because she saw all the tanks, but maybe she didn't see all the German tanks lined up. They were camouflaged, so maybe she just didn't see them. But so note down today, she's got the Americans. So let's see if she's right. I think she's had quite a good run of correct results lately. So let's see if it will keep on going. Okay, so the boys are deployed. The Americans in their little box, avoiding all templates as much as they can, have deployed here. So we have 1st platoon covering this objective, all strung out, and then we have 2nd platoon on their left. In the middle is the HQ, giving some motivation to everyone. And we also have the mortars back here. On the hill we have the heavy machine guns, and then we have the Greyhounds near the crest of the hill. 3rd platoon is back here, more of a reserve force, and we have the priests hidden in the back of the woods. In ambush we have the M10s, and then the rest of the armour is in reserve because it is deep scattered reserves. So going over here on the left flank for the Germans, we have their OP and the 3 SS Panthers. We have these half tracks hidden in the woods because basically Thomas said these are the anchor for his tank formation. So they're basically here not to get killed, so it's going to take a while if the Americans want to do that. This is 2nd platoon, these are the pioneers, and then we have the grills and Nebelwerfers all deployed someone on the road so they can see straight up towards the Americans. We then have the Panzer IV platoon and HQ here ready to move up, and then we have this parking space here provided by the farm full up. So we've got everything else here. So we've got the mortars back here with the flame half tracks, and then we have the 1st platoon, the HQ, and the MGs. The MGs are actually already in this farmhouse with a half track eating up the meter readings at the back. So that is deployment. Good luck to both of you, and we have SS Turn 1. Okay, so this is a summary of movement. The OP is moved over to the corner of this field, and the Panthers did a terrain dash this way. These pioneers are well skilled in dodging templates because they've dodged the first marker for the Americans. As you can imagine, all the artillery staying still. The Panzer IV platoon did a blitz move with the old hands rule, so there was a skill 3, and they did a tactical to the Bocage. These guys did a tactical and a follow me. 4 infantry teams from this platoon are in the minefields, but 2 of them have triggered it, but luckily they didn't get killed. Half tracks are moved up with them, and the HQ and the heavy machine guns are in the cart shed, and that is it. So there's actually a bit of shooting for the Germans, so let's see how many aggressive infantry they can kill. Okay, so the Germans started with a smoke barrage. Tom actually moved these guys back a bit. He didn't want them shooting, he wanted them covered by the smoke, so we moved them before we did the smoke, and there it is going, covering everyone. Then the Nebs and the Grills ranged in by here. 1st platoon has been hit but have taken no casualties, and that is it. So now we're going into American Turn 1. American startup step. 1st platoon has rallied, ambush has not popped yet, and no reserves for the Americans. So now let's see if Lucas is going to be moving anything. Okay, so the only movement were these 3 guys here. 2 rifle teams and a bazooka are being sent up by the company to deal with this OP. So because he's out of command, it will be a 7 to hit this, so watch his space, because this guy's going to be a legend if he does it. And that is all the movement for the Americans, so it's straight into the shooting. Okay, so shooting. The priests ranged in down the road thanks to the Greyhound spotting, and they actually managed to kill one of the Nebs, so that's pretty good, and they won't be able to see they're ranged in, and they'll also be re-rolling their hits. And then both sets of mortars from the Jeep and the platoon ranged in here killed one of the guys in the minefields and pinned the HQ and HMG. So not bad artillery. And over here the boys missed, unfortunately. So they are going to run in and assault this half track, and well, let's see what happens. Okay, so no one got killed at all, and the Americans won the fight because the half track is reversed back over here, and the Americans went back in the woods. So that is it. So now we go into German Turn 2. Okay, so German motivation, everyone has rallied, so they continue to push forward, and everyone will be able to fire their artillery as they did last turn. So here they go. Okay, German movement. The Panthers have moved up to the Bocage here with the half track here, because they were picking on them last turn, so they're going to deal with these. The Pioneers are moving to the woods. The mines were cleared by these guys, and the flamethrowers have moved up to flame. And then we've got the Panzer IVs here, going to lay down some fire as well, potentially. And yep, so German shooting. Okay, so the Panthers managed to get rid of 2 of the rifle teams and 8 hits in total, so this platoon is pinned. This OP didn't hit anything. And then the artillery happened. So with the Nebs and the Grills ranging in here, bear in mind they are re-rolling their hits. They managed to take out 4 rifle teams and a bazooka from 1st platoon. The mortars ranged in here. Don't think they killed anyone, but then the flamethrowers lit up, and they got rid of an LMG team, 3 rifle teams, and a bazooka. Yes, some very good shooting from the Germans this turn. so the Americans desperately need now their reserves to come in their turn 2. Okay, so starting step and movement. So basically, everything apart from the 3rd Platoon rallied. The M10s have popped up here in ambush, and a unit of 76mm Shermans arrived here. So 3 of them have gone into short range of the Panthers. One of them is going to go for the OP, and then another one long range on the Panthers. And 1st Platoon, emboldened by the 76s coming in and moving up, and they've put one of their bazooka, well, their only remaining bazooka on the road as well, to try and get rid of these pesky Panthers. So yeah, let's get into the shooting, and already the Americans are ranged in decent areas, so let's see what they can do. Okay, so let's do the interesting stuff over here first. So basically... Yeah, we'll do that. We just did a shoot and scoot, so we'll try to. Okay, so the interesting stuff first. So basically, the Shermans managed to kill and bail one of the Panthers. Most importantly, they bailed this one, so that is very good for the Panthers. The bazookas all missed down here, and then the artillery, the priest ranged in over here again, killed another Nebelwerfer and bailed the grill. The M10s, who just failed their shoot and scoot, managed to get 3 of the half tracks and bail another, and then the bazooka from this platoon managed to bag the last one. And then all the mortars ranged in over here and got a HQ team and a heavy machine gun. So this is what happens when both sides bring aggressive infantry and aggressive tanks. Things start dropping. So we have one final attack. So the main thing that's going to happen is these Americans are going to ask this Panther to surrender, and it's up to the unit leader whether he's going to let that happen, but he's got cross checks to do either way if he decides to help out. So let's see how this looks after the assault phase. Okay then, so basically they couldn't get that bailed out Panther, and the unit leader managed to get around, kill the bazooka. He got hit, but then he passed his save, then he counter-attacked again, and they win. So he's moved onto the road, and hopefully he'll get back in, and that is done. So we're going into German turn 3. Okay, so German motivation, the only thing to fail was the remount on the Panther, but luckily that was the only motivation that failed, so everything has stayed on for now as we go into German movement. Okay, so German movement, the active Panthers moving against the LMGs, and the Pioneers are turning up through the woods looking at 1st Platoon are pinned because they did take a hit in the assault. The Panzer IVs, one of them has remained still because he can see the end M10. One of them failed in the cross-check, and then this guy didn't do a cross-check at all, and these ones both passed. HQs do have a big enough gap to shoot through here, so they can target the end ones each, and the guys here have just remounted their half tracks, and that is it for German movement. So now we go into the shooting phase, and yes, we are finally getting danger close on the Nebs. Okay, so German shooting. Quite a few guys got peppered by bullets in the woods, 2 of them dying. The Nebs put some smoke up on the hill just to cover some of the HMGs, and then the grill ranged in last attempt here, so didn't get any hits though. The Panzer IVs though minced up the M10, so killed 2 and bailed another. And the mortars here managed to take out the remaining bazooka from this platoon. So yes, the Germans are encroaching and inflicting heavy casualties on the Americans. So there's going to be an assault. This Panther is going to do some running over, and so we'll see what happens if there's any surprises. Okay, so the assaults. 1st Panther killed the LMG and then they broke off. But there was enough in range of the Pioneers, so they came in, didn't take any hits from defensive fire, and they killed the one guy, and so that unit then broke off. So 1st Platoon is down to 3, so not quite last standing yet, and then the 3rd Platoon bazooka has moved back. So 3rd Platoon are the only ones in possession of bazookas now. So that is now American turn 3. American motivation, they're lucky the M10s managed to get back in, so no last stand for them, and everyone rallied
Yeah, I think. Oh no, the first platoon did not rally, but everyone else did. And another unit of M4 Shermans are coming in, and they're coming on from this right corner, which is a bit of a problem. So we'll see where these end up in the movement phase. So we're going into American movement. Okay, so American movement. These Shermans came straight through this hedge because they've all got culling cutters. Quite a few of them rolled 2 as well, so as Lucas said, a point well spent. They did try to do a follow me because they are on the board, but failed. And then 3 of the 76ers have moved so they can engage the active Panther at short range. First platoon is successfully dug in, and the heavy machine guns have moved off the hill to protect the objective. And that was it for American movement, so now we're going into the shooting phase again. Okay, so that shooting for the Americans was terrible. They failed to range in the priests and their mortars. And then the M10s got 3 hits, but they only killed 1 Panzer IV. The other one was only bailed, and then one was long range and bounced it. And then the Sherman 76 has got 5 hits on the Panthers over here and got nothing. Just a double bail, and in fact that's all they got. And that was pretty much it for the American shooting. So now we're going into German turn 4. Okay, German motivation, everything passed. Panthers back in. Nebs are still here for some reason. Heavy machine gun has passed. And the Panzer IV is back in. So these M10s are in a bit of trouble. They did fail their shooting scoot as well last turn. So, German movement. Okay, so German movement. So the 2 Panthers are now moving in towards this objective, and one of the Panzer IVs have come over to join them as well, doing a cross check. The infantry and the HQ have dismounted and did a follow me to here with their half tracks following. The HQ Panzer IVs passed a blitz move, so now they're all short range on these M10s. And everything is closing in. So there's quite a few guys out in the open here. Lucas's HQ is out in the open, and the heavy machine gun. So there's a lot of chew out for the Germans here, but yes, reserves desperately needed for the Americans in the moment, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so the shooting has resulted in 2 bailed out M10s from the HQs. So basically with the infantry marauding over here, these guys are in a bit of trouble. 2 Panzer IVs can't actually assault into this platoon as well, so these infantry might not have to dodge any bullets. And only 1 heavy machine gun team got killed, and that's it. And all the mortars range, basically all the artillery ranged in on this hill, because obviously it's a hill, they can see it in our rules. All they managed to do was bail the mortars and kill the MG Jeep, and that's it. So plenty of assaults coming in, so let's see how they pan out. Okay then, so the assaults went very well. The Panzer IVs took out a few guys and pushed everyone back. Then the Panthers killed a few guys and pushed everyone back, and then consolidated. He's contesting this objective, he's contesting this objective. This Panzer IV is contesting this objective, and then the infantry came in, killed a fair few guys. Adolf joined in, killed someone, and then the Americans broke off, leaving the 2 M10s to be captured. So not looking great for the Americans going into their turn 4. American startup step, basically only 2nd platoon over here did not unpin, but everyone passed their last stand. All American reserves are now coming in. Tom did use his own goal, but the same result. So the HQ will be coming in from this edge, where yet we'll determine. And then we have the Stuarts coming over from this corner. So the reserves are finally in, but the Germans are on the objective, so they just need to clear the Americans off, and it's game. Okay, so the Stuarts have turned up here, ready to hose down the Panzer Grenadiers in the open. These guys here tried to dig in, they did not. The Sherman HQs are contesting the objective here, as long with the HQ, the XO is contesting it, the HQ is too far away. The other Shermans are moving around, one's gone onto the hill to try and shoot at something, and then the 76ers have crossed over the hedge, and 3rd platoon is moving to contest the objective but also stay hidden in the woods. And that is where we end the movement, so now we're going to shooting. Okay, American shooting. The Panzer IV contesting the objective has been killed now, so that's some result. Quite a few of the 1st platoon of the Panzer Grenadiers are dead, but the HQ still lives. The Panzer with the Pioneers is gone, and that is pretty much in. American artillery really struggling again for the last few turns, so we're going into German turn 5. Okay, so morales. Everyone has passed their morales. The Nebelwerfers, though, have decided to call it a day, but they have been last standing now from turn 1, so well done for them staying in, and they actually managed to kill a few people with their limited effectiveness, so that was quite good. So, Germans need to get rid of these 2 Shermans and the executive officer of this objective, and they can call it a day. This one a little bit more, quite a lot more actually, so Tom will know what to do, but he has got plenty of firepower to try and get rid of everything, so we'll see what the Germans end up doing in turn 5. Okay, German movement. The Panthers have remained still. The Panzer IVs have remained still. The HQ Panzers did a blitz move, so one of them can go for the Stuarts and the other one can shoot wherever he likes. The half tracks, only one didn't make it over, so they've gone this way, and one of the rifle teams from this platoon has moved to the side of the Stuart with the Panzerfaust, and that is it. So Tom needs to kill or bail the 2 Shermans, and he needs to kill the executive officer to gain victory for the Waffen SS. So, will he do it? And we have games. So the way it panned out, Tom did start firing over here, so he brought down 2nd Platoon to 1. He killed 2 Stuarts with his just the Panzer IV HQ, so well done there. And then he basically killed and bailed the other Shermans with the Panzer IVs, and then he rearranged in his mortars and he just hit the HQ, and then Lucas failed to save. So it is a major victory to the Germans because they lost their flamethrowers and they also lost their Nebelwerfers. Yeah, so that is a 7-2 victory. And Lucas, do you have a man of the match?
Do you know, I'm honestly not sure I do. Everything was so average. I can't think of a single one unit that did any better or any...
I think his 76s did quite well, mind, and your...
bounced all their hits. They arrived in the wrong place.
maybe the priests did... they went... M10s actually killed an entire unit. You got it. So with your man of the match, it's like who did the least worst out of your list.
I guess the 76 was the least worst. They're all still alive. They nearly wiped out the Panthers. It was only the botched infantry assault and the very good save rolls of the turn after that stopped them from doing it. So I guess the 76s get it.
Okay then, now Tom, you have the other end of the spectrum. Out of your list, who do you think did the best?
I guess the French ones are the most dramatic. I mean, in one round of shooting, they killed 5 bases, which is pretty impressive. But Americans are that cheap, but then they only killed around points with it.
What about the Panthers?
The fact that Panthers rolled up over 1, I'm really tempted to give them another match. But then what did they kill? They only killed a couple of their infantry teams.
Yeah, they killed the infantry teams. They fended off an assault from an infantry team while one of them was bailed out, and they're the only team holding an objective at the end of the game, which won the game for you. I suppose if you fired them again this round, you would kill another unit of Shermans with them.
I think the Panzer IVs...
Yeah, the Panzer IVs, yeah.
They know a triple and win to the effect that are they took out some Shermans at the end, which also helped when it marked them. And they also did a couple of hits on the infantry team that then told you up for another bloody assault. And they were always in a fighting position, and the fact that they shrugged off the initial M10 ambush allowed them to keep the game. So yeah, I'm going to give it to the humble Panzer IV.
Excellent. Right, that sounds good to me.